to Select Arcane. I've been showing at live model horse shows since 2014. Back then, I attended every single live show I could. And I was lucky because we actually had 2 live shows that would happen every year, Autumn Live and Toronto Live. In 2018, I actually took over Toronto Live from Lisa Sharp and have been running it ever since. But to tell the truth, I do still prefer showing rather than hosting. And this also meant that I wasn't allowed to show as much as I wanted to because I had to host the show. Because of that, I got a chance to show a lot in the States. I've shown in Colorado at the Jennifer Show, and I've been to Breyerfest Live twice. And if you didn't know, I started showing a lot with Breyers. I was a huge Breyer collector before I moved over to Resins. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to show because of the pandemic. I did try my hand at photo showing, which I had some success in, but I just prefer live showing. So when I saw that the model horse shows in the States were finally starting to run again, I couldn't help but jump on the bandwagon. The Circle C Classic Model Horse Show has always been a mini show that I've always been interested in attending. The only problem is that it's in North Carolina, and I'm up here in Canada, which meant either 2 choices. Either I drive over 12 hours to the show by myself, or I take a plane. And I've never flown with model horses before, so I thought I would challenge myself, and because it's a mini show, I could do it. I'll make a video in the future about packing and attending a live show, but for now I use these large crates to keep my larger micros, and I add their names in just regular painter's tape on the lid for easy use. For my small micros, I use this sort of tackle box that I also got from Michaels, and again put their name on with tape. For my minis, since I'm taking them on carry-on and nothing is going to be checked luggage, I'm using this gun case, which is also a camera equipment case, and I cut out the foam with just a regular kitchen knife to make the shapes of the horses. Here I'm packing my mini kimosabi, my uppity, and my capriole resin. Anyone else I'm bringing just goes in regular small pony pouches like my stablemate resins and my medallions. They have to fit in my tackle box as well, and I am quite limited on space, so I can't bring absolutely everybody. I pack my tackle box in my carry-on roller bag, and I put my gun case in my backpack. This is all I'm able to bring with me on the plane because checking a bag through Toronto is impossible. Now that I'm fully packed 4 hours before I have to leave, it's time to get some sleep and then head out for the next day. This might come as quite a shock to some American viewers, but yes, it is quite common to have this much snow in November. My boyfriend drove me the hour and a half to the airport, dropped me off, and it was time for the adventure to begin. I was pretty nervous about going through the security and maybe them confiscating my horses or pulling me aside or something. But actually none of that happened. Nobody seemed to question why I had so many tiny horses in my backpack. But as things were going so well, something had to happen. There was no more room for carry-on luggage, so they had to check my bag with my micros. And fully knowing Toronto, I was expecting them to lose my bag. So I spent my first flight to New York panicking that they were going to lose my horses. Oh my god, I got my backpack, thank god. Needless to say, my panicking was for nothing. I laid over in New York and then headed out to Greensboro a few hours later. It was dark when I arrived, so I didn't really see anything, but when I checked into the hotel, I checked my horses, saw they were okay, and completely passed out. When I set out for this show, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't really know anyone who was going to be there, and I just kind of assumed I would sit at my table and show all by myself. But that was far from the case. Beth Patterson greeted me with a warm hug, and everyone was so friendly and nice. They made me feel like a local, and the show was absolutely a blast. Before lunch, the medallion divisions ran, as well as the chinas. And while everyone was busy showing, teenagers who were part of the riding camp next door handed out and sold raffle tickets. I, of course, could not help myself, and I bought quite a few. But the highlight at midday was the soup bar. 4 homemade soups bubbling in their crock pots, served with crackers and other snacks. The potato and ham soup won the vote as the most favorite, and you can get the recipe if you ask Stephanie Blaylock. And the after-lunch entertainment involved cracking a whip outside. Both Maggie Jenner Bennett and Christine Jordan were quite talented at this. And after lunch, the micro and mini divisions began running, and I started running around like a headless chicken. I was so busy I kept forgetting horses on the table, and I just had so many horses I needed to bring out all at once. At this point I started forgetting to take video footage, but I did snap some extra pictures. But just like that, the overall championships got called back, and the show was over. People said their goodbyes, hugged, and everyone started heading home. Some of us grabbed dinner afterwards, but that was it. Massive shout out to Beth Patterson and Stephanie Blaylock, who put on this absolutely fabulous show. I'm so glad I flew down for it, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Thank you to everyone else, including Morgen Kilbourn, who made me feel so welcome in North Carolina. I hope to be back soon one day to attend more shows, including the ones coming up in Raleigh. If you thought this show looked fun, consider it for your next destination show. I highly recommend it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can find me on Instagram @SelectArcane and on Facebook by the same name. Thanks for watching. Bye.